Shivani, do you know in medical field what is case presentation?
Yes, it is a formal communication between healthcare professionals regarding a patient's clinical information. PharmD doctors mainly study the cases and recheck the drugs on the basis of drug-drug interaction, drug-food interaction, and the adverse effect.
They nicely manage the balance between therapeutic effect and adverse effect of drugs.
Hey guys, welcome back to our channel PharmD Guider. We are your PharmD Guider, Shaumedeep.
Anushree.
Shivani.
Today we will present an interesting case on COVID-19. So let's start the video.
At first, detail about patient.
A 50-year-old man was admitted to a fever clinic on 21st January 2020 with symptoms of fever, chills, cough, fatigue, and shortness of breath.
He had a travel history to Wuhan from 8th of January to 12th of January. On 14th January, he had initial symptoms of mild chills and dry cough, but he avoided it and didn't consult with the doctor and kept working until January 21st.
In physical examination, it was found that his body temperature was 39 degrees Celsius. Oxygen saturation was above 90%.
On 21st of January, his chest X-ray was performed in the clinic. It showed multiple patchy shadows in both the lungs. His throat swab sample was taken for the test.
On 22nd January, after examination of his sample, the Beijing Centers for Disease Control confirmed by reverse real-time PCR assay that the patient had COVID-19.
Now see the treatment.
He was immediately admitted to the isolation ward and received supplemental oxygen through a face mask.
He was given interferon alpha 2b. The dose was 5 million units twice daily through atomization inhalation. Interferon alpha 2b is an antiviral drug used to treat virus infections like chronic hepatitis B and chronic hepatitis C. It doesn't kill virus directly, it mainly boosts the immune system response.
Secondly, he was also given lopinavir plus ritonavir. The dose was 500 mg twice daily orally as antiviral therapy.
Thirdly, 0.4 gram of moxifloxacin was also given intravenously once daily to prevent secondary infections.
Fourthly, daily 80 mg methylprednisolone was administered twice intravenously to attenuate lung inflammation. Methylprednisolone is a steroid that prevents the release of substances in the body that cause inflammation.
In the observation period,
After receiving medications, his body temperature reduced from 39 degrees Celsius to 36.4 degrees Celsius. However, his cough, dyspnea, and fatigue did not improve.
On day 12 of illness, after initial presentation, chest X-ray showed progressive infiltrate and diffuse grinding shadow in both lungs. He refused ventilator support in the intensive care unit repeatedly because he suffered from claustrophobia. Therefore, he received high-flow nasal cannula oxygen therapy.
On day 13th of his illness, the patient's symptoms had still not improved, but oxygen saturation remained above 95%. In the afternoon of day 14th of his illness, his hypoxemia and shortness of breath worsened.
Despite receiving high-flow nasal cannula oxygen therapy, oxygen saturation values decreased to 60% and the patient had sudden cardiac arrest. In that condition, he was immediately given invasive ventilation, chest compression, and adrenaline injection. Unfortunately, the rescue was not successful and he died.
From his postmortem biopsies, we found the pathological characteristics. Biopsy samples were taken from the lungs, liver, and the heart tissue of the patient.
Let's see the result of lung biopsy.
Histological examination showed bilateral diffused alveolar damage with cellular fibromyxide exudates, means per inflammation alveoli were damaged by seeping out a mass of cells and fluid.
The right lung showed evident discommation of pneumocytes and hyaline membrane formation. It indicates acute respiratory distress syndrome.
The left lung tissue displayed pulmonary edema with hyaline membrane formation. Pulmonary edema is a condition caused by excess fluid in the lungs. It is usually caused by pneumonia and exposure of drugs. Multinucleated syncytial cells with a typical enlarged pneumocytes characterized by large nuclei, granular cytoplasm, and prominent nuclei were identified in the intra-alveolar spaces. It showed viral cytopathic-like changes.
Now discuss about the liver biopsy report.
The liver biopsy specimen of the patient showed moderate microvesicular steatosis and mild lobular and portal activity. It indicates the injury could have been caused by either SARS-CoV-2 infection or drug-induced liver injury.
In heart biopsy report, there were a few interstitial mononuclear inflammatory infiltrates, but no other substantial damage in the heart tissue.
Peripheral blood was prepared for flow cytometric analysis. From the blood report, it was found that the count of peripheral CD4 and CD8 T cells was substantially reduced, while their status was hyperactivated as evidenced by the high proportion of HLA-DR. CD4 was 3.4% and CD8 that was 39.4% double positive fractions.
HLA-DR is human leukocytes antigen, which is potentially identifies a regulatory T cell, and CD38 is a glycoprotein which is also known as cyclic ADP ribose hydrolase. It is found on the surface of many immunocells.
There was an increased concentration of highly pro-inflammatory CCR6+, Th17 in CD4 T cells, and CD8 T cells were found to have high concentrations of cytotoxic granules. 31.6% cells were perforin positive, 64.2% cells were granulysin positive, and 30.5% cells were granulysin and perforin double positive.
Perforin is a pore-forming cytolytic protein found in the granules of cytotoxic T lymphocytes and natural killer cells, and granulysin produced by cytolytic T cells and an immunomarker.
From the X-ray image, it showed rapid progression of pneumonia, and the liver tissue showed moderate microvesicular steatosis and mild lobular activity. But there was no conclusive evidence to support SARS-CoV-2 infection or drug-induced liver injury as the cause. Also, there was no obvious histological changes seen in the heart tissue.
Lymphopenia is a common feature in the patient with COVID-19 and might be a critical factor associated with disease severity and mortality.
Let's find if any drug interaction was occurred or not.
From the point of view of a clinical pharmacist, there was no drug-drug interaction in medication, but drug-food interaction was there.
Moxifloxacin, which was prescribed to the patient, interacts with pantothenic acid, means vitamin B5, and thiamine, means vitamin B1, by altering intestinal flora.
From the clinical finding, although the drugs were used as an antiviral agent, but the drugs did not show the significant therapeutic effect. Although corticosteroid treatment is not routinely recommended to be used for SARS-CoV-2 pneumonia.
According to pathological findings of pulmonary edema and hyaline membrane formation, timely and appropriate use of corticosteroids together with ventilator support should be considered for the severe patients to prevent ARDS, acute respiratory distress syndrome development.
From the clinical and pathological findings in the severe case of COVID-19 not only help to identify the cause of death, but also provide new insights into the pathogenesis of SARS-CoV-2 related pneumonia, which might help physicians to formulate a timely therapeutic strategy for similar severe patients and reduce mortality.
For more PharmD related videos, case presentations, diseases, new inventions and discoveries in the pharma field, subscribe to our channel.
Promote us by hitting on the like and share button below. And also comment below and help us to know about your queries. Stay safe and stay happy, and please maintain the COVID-19 disease precaution and cooperate to destroy the coronavirus. Thank you.